summer and the events surrounding it did not happen in a vacuum. The path that led to our withdrawal this summer and the events surrounding it did not happen in a vacuum. The path that led to this moment was paved with years of mistakes, from our catastrophic pivot to Iraq, to our failure to handle Pakistan's support for the Taliban, to the flawed Doha Agreement signed by President Trump. The members of this committee and the witnesses before us have overseen chapters of a war that spanned 4 presidential administrations, both Democratic and Republican, and we owe the American people an honest accounting.
We will never negotiate with terrorists. We must negotiate with terrorists. The men and women who served in uniform, their heroic families, and the American people deserve answers. How did this avoidable disaster happen? Why were Americans left behind? President Biden's decision to withdraw has expanded the threat of terrorism and increased the likelihood of an attack on the homeland.
Of confusion outside the airport. But within 48 hours, our troops restored. As for over-the-horizon operations, when we use that term, we refer to assets and target analysis that come from outside the country in which the operation occurs. These are effective and fairly common operations. Indeed, just days ago, we conducted one such strike in Syria, eliminating a senior al-Qaida figure. Over-the-horizon operations are difficult, but absolutely possible. And the intelligence that supports them comes from a variety of sources and not just U.S. boots on the ground. Ranking Member Inhofe, members of this committee, thank you for that. But let's be clear. Those first 2 days were difficult. We all watched with alarm the images of Afghans rushing the runway in our aircraft. We all remember the scenes of confusion outside the airport. But within 48 hours, our troops restored order and process began to take hold. We comprehend the depth of corruption and poor leadership in the senior ranks. Did we have the right strategy? Did we have too many strategies? Did we put too much faith in our ability to build effective Afghan institutions, an army, an air force, a police force, and government ministries? We helped build a state, Mr. Chairman, but we could not forge a nation. The fact that the Afghan army that we and our partners trained simply melted away, in many cases without firing a shot, took us all by surprise, and it would be dishonest to claim otherwise. I'll talk to you a little bit about that issue of time.
It remains to be seen whether or not the Taliban can consolidate power, or if the country will further fracture into civil war. But we must continue to protect the United States of America and its people from terrorist attacks coming from Afghanistan. A reconstituted al-Qaida or ISIS with aspirations to attack the United States is a very real possibility. And those conditions, to include activity in ungoverned spaces, could present themselves in the next 12 to 36 months. That mission will be much harder now, but not impossible, and we will continue to protect the American people. Potential outcomes. The cost, benefit, risk to force, and risk to